There's something about YouTube that no one really understands at the beginning, and you won't understand it right away either. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because this part of YouTube only makes sense after time has passed. When you start a YouTube channel, you think success comes from effort, posting more, editing better, learning titles, thumbnails, watching analytics every day. And trust me, yes, all of this matters, but it's not what actually decides whether a channel works or not. What really decides is its timing and clarity. Early on, YouTube doesn't know who you are. They're trying to figure out exactly who your content is for, and it doesn't know what your channel is about yet. It doesn't know who your videos are aimed at, what type of audience or demographic, and it doesn't know where your content belongs. So at this point, I like to call it the testing phase. So YouTube does what it always does. It tests out your content. And this is the part that drives creators crazy because you don't feel the testing. You just think that your videos are bombing and they're doing terrible. And all you see are these low views, the flat graphs, and videos that seem invisible. And it's very easy to assume that silence means failure, but silence doesn't mean failure. Most of the time, silence means YouTube is still learning and try to understand your content. This is the part that no one prepares you for as a creator. Because here's the thing, YouTube doesn't reward effort first, it rewards understanding. And understanding who your content is for and what problems you are solving with your content, as well as understanding what moment your viewer is into. And that understanding doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and it happens slowly by posting, watching, adjusting, and staying long enough for YouTube to connect the dots. And this right here is where most creators quit before that happens. They assume nothing is working, so I'm just gonna stop posting content. But what they don't realize is that YouTube isn't looking for perfection. It's looking for consistency and clarity over time. And I know you're tired of hearing the word consistency, but it's looking for consistency in topic, in messaging, in who the videos are meant for, and the overall packaging as well. And that's why you'll see channels that feel like they came out of nowhere. They didn't. They just stayed long enough for clarity to compound. And don't get me wrong, sometimes yes, can there be channels that blow up? We have no clue why. Yes, for sure. But here's the thing. If you keep with the consistency, one day something will click. And it's not just the algorithm, it's in you. And you're going to stop trying to make these videos for everyone. You're going to stop chasing these trends, and you're going to stop over editing and overthinking every upload. And instead, you're going to shift your focus to talking to one person in one specific situation. For example, a new creator who feels stuck, someone posting consistently but not getting traction, someone quietly wondering if they should quit. That's when YouTube starts to understand you. And it's not because you got better overnight, but because your message got clearer over time. And when that message gets clear, YouTube gets more confident testing your videos out to different pools of audiences. And that's the part that most creators and most people don't see. Instead, they think growth happens when a video goes viral and I'm just gonna have every video try to go viral. But most of the time, growth happens when YouTube finally understands where you fit in with your content. And this is why shortcuts rarely work on YouTube. You just can't rush understanding. You earn it by staying when it's quiet. You earn it by making adjustments instead of starting over. And you earn it by letting the learning phase finish. And I actually have a client of ours that is a perfect example of this. The first video that blew up for his channel, that video is currently over 1 million views right now, and he was averaging only 500 to 1,000 with only 2,000 subscribers. He now has over 60,000, and that also has happened within 4 months of us working with him. The video that performed the best, he even messaged us on this, was the one that he was not going to record. And right now that video is sitting over 1 million views. He has another video behind that that's about 950,000 views and multiple ones over 100,000 views stacked on top of that, all within 4 to 5 months. And we're only working with him for a few months before he started getting all this traction. And again, he went through the same phase that everyone else went through, which was, oh, I'm debating quitting because, I'm not seeing the results. I'm not getting, as much views as I want to get, right? But again, we're still training YouTube. We're always trying to train YouTube to put us in front of the right audience and to solve that one problem for our audience. Now, if you're in that quiet phase right now, this video probably found you at the right time. And it's not because you're late, because you're still early enough to build clarity with your audience, early enough to train the system, and early enough to stay and still remain consistent. One day, you're gonna look back at this phase and realize something. The videos that felt like they didn't matter were actually teaching YouTube what your channel was about. And the slow weeks weren't wasted. They were training you. And when you're ready and when you stay long enough for clarity to stack, this part of YouTube will finally make sense. I'm documenting this entire journey in real time and going along with you guys. So subscribe to the channel so you can stay with me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next video.